Hello, and welcome to the Loose Butthole Reviews. Today we are reviewing Chernobyl.
Yes.
Alright, and like always, before we get into it, so we can talk about spoilers and not have to worry about it, we're going to give our ratings. And this show actually kind of made us kind of like solidify our rating system.
Yeah, it made us really, think deeply on it. Uh, so I guess since we were both in agreement, then it's Chernobyl.
No, no, I no. We're
Oh,
we're we're gonna
or
go
God
with
tier.
because we didn't feel both. You don't feel. Do you feel this is God tier?
I thought. So wait, so then the six is different than God tier. Then
I thought a six was gonna be it's objectively good and we love it at the same time.
I I thought it's okay. I thought it was going to be a God tier, and six is going to be the same, but a God tier is if we agreed on it both. And then if it was just like a six is just if one of us thought it was
That is
worthy of a
actually
God
okay.
tier.
That's actually yeah. This is a God tier 6 out of 5.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's a better thing than I was thinking.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And for
so
example, like going back to something that I would think is a six that you wouldn't, and that would just make it a six on my part without it being a God tier would be Lighthouse.
yeah, and that definitely would not be the case for me. I don't think we reviewed anything else that I would make a 6 out of 5.
Yeah.
I got some pretty high standards, I guess.
Mhm.
Even though I did give Willy's Wonderland a 5 out of 5. But that's because I love that. I just love that movie.
And maybe I would say that individual episodes of Cowboy Bebop would be a six, but not the whole thing. All you can't. It's hard to because it's a show, so there's like some weaker episodes, so that brings it down.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But now we have that solidified.
Yes, let's get in Chernobyl. Chernobyl, this show, of course, this is based off the true event that happened in Pripyat, Ukraine.
Mhm.
I
A
believe
very
Pripyat's in
horrible
Ukraine.
disaster. Yeah,
Yeah,
something that was world changing in a way that a lot of people don't really know. It's easy to miss, like how much this and how much this could have affected too the whole world.
oh man, to be honest, I think that it probably did spread a little bit and it probably did affect the world a lot more than they're leading on.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's not only for Chernobyl, and I'm sure that Chernobyl would be a huge part of it, but that could be said for of even just the nuclear tests that have been done in the past.
Yes. Oh man.
So, we want to start episode by episode?
Uh I was hoping that you'd be able to lead this a little more, so yeah.
Okay. Well, let's start with the first one, which is I think still objectively my favorite episode.
To be
Um,
it's not my favorite, but I will have to agree this is the best episode. The
yes,
first episode.
it's I think it perfectly sucks you in. I mean, like the atmosphere of the first part, just the kind of eeriness and uh I mean of of you'll remember names better than me of a suicide and just like of the
Lagos
shadiness of like
Legasov.
yeah, like even like without any context of who he was or anything, you could tell that he's being watched. You can tell that he's basically he's basically like putting out some. I mean, like it's basically his dying words, his dying. I'm trying to think of the word. Fucking his confession. His. Uh,
It's I really couldn't tell you.
but anyway, fuck. uh, uh, I'm having brain stoppage blockage. Brain blockage.
Good dang it. It's causing me too.
Okay, great. It's. I mean, there's the eeriness of a suicide. I mean, obviously some shit goes down, and then they start showing the shit kind of like right as it just had happened already, go down, and the aftermath of that. And I mean, uh, it rings out just like a horror movie. I mean, there's no one really knows what's happening when it's happening. I mean, it's we're kind of faced with what we're told is this impossible. This is impossible to happen. Like this is an impossibility, you know. So I mean, there's a lot of gaslighting in that too that we figure out later. Um, but
Oh man, that's what I hate. Like most of this is caused because just a huge swath of people just gaslighted their ass off.
mhm.
Like it just
You're
it,
only told things that you need to know, which quote unquote need because you actually do need to know this shit.
yeah, and the things that you need to know are what they wanted you to know, and
Hmm.
just and not always what they wanted you to know was actual fact. Sometimes they just gave you like like the first episode they're literally just giving off the December reading. They're not checking into the account. They're not giving out the account that the decimeters are literally burning the fuck out.
Hmm.
There's so much radiation being pumped out of this fucking burst open radio nuclear radiated core that fucking it's burning out fucking the damn fucking shit that detects radiation.
And they only had the one that that could read any farther up there locked in a safe and they didn't know where the key was.
And it burned out. It burns the fuck
Hmm.
out.
It burned out too.
And they had to go get another one that didn't read up to the same amount, and it taps out, and that's the number that they start giving to everybody.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's fortunate that that thing didn't burn out, but holy shit, dude.
Hmm.
Uh
And I mean the whole. I mean this perfectly captures the the human error in this and honestly just like the whole issue with the Soviet government and as a whole.
oh yeah, for sure. This was this why like the I don't know which Soviet the I guess it was the last president of the Soviet Union. Uh,
Gorbachev,
yeah,
yeah.
he said Chernobyl was like the thing that was the downfall, and I gotta say, of course, when Chernobyl happened, it was already on a downfall.
Hmm.
It was already in, but this was the event because they had to divert so many resources and so much time to doing this, and they only had at first they only had like they thought they had a month or two. They gave themselves that, but because they fucking kept pumping water into the nuclear core. They only had like 2 or 3 days to do something about it.
Hmm.
So those divers literally had to go in there and drain the fucking whole building of the water somehow.
Yeah. It really, I mean, like this is all, and all this information is being kept to keep people's reputations. And it like, and it starts at individual levels, like I mean, the people, like the dude trying to get a promotion of trying to get the rush that test that needed to be done that they lied and said was done.
Yeah,
Uh, again, for 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 instant promotion.
Yet lied, and it was supposed to be done for 3 years, and they just went 3 years without doing it.
And why the KGB and the up tops are keeping it secret is because they're trying to save face of the whole nation. Because if it gets out that they fucked this up, then it's like, oh, now the Soviet Union looks weak. We can't. The Soviet Union cannot admit a mistake. That is defeat
Yeah,
to
and
them.
unfortunately, that's almost every country.
Mm-hmm.
That's just an objective thing. Like that's just national pride there.
Cough, cough, JFK assassination. Cough, cough.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Like that. That exactly. It wouldn't have. He wouldn't have died if it wasn't for our human error.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But we can't talk
So
about.
I
We
mean
can't be
it.
talking about that.
But that's the most frustrating part is like it is really just people like fighting to save the world against people trying to save um the image of a I mean just of a state in the name like just of an arbitrary fucking government system.
But
That's why there's almost a nuclear holocaust.
yeah. But it gave us this great series.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it's it's let's get into let's keep going. I kind of been jumping around, but episode 1 goes, and then episode 2 kind of goes into the actual, like, they tried to cover up the fact that this happened without actually like doing anything about it.
Yeah, I mean that at this
They
point they still were refusing to evacuate.
Yeah, in the second episode, and those the two main people that were the two main heads of the nuclear plant were adamant that it was just a fucking roof fire, even though the fucking air above the fucking plant was glowing.
Mhm. I mean, didn't wasn't it episode 2 that they finally admitted that there was even graphite on the ground?
Yeah, fucking they Legacy fucking saw the graphite.
Yeah.
It took the scientists actually like flying over and going, "Oh shit, something actually fucking went down," before
Mhm.
anything was actually like pursued and done.
Mhm.
It's literally
And it
for
also took Boris to confirm that what he was seeing wasn't concrete.
yeah. And they had to fucking make that one military dude volunteer and take the decimeter, and it fucking tapped out at the whatever Watkins or whatever they say.
Mhm. That dude is who I don't know, going on a small tangent. I feel like that dude. I want to look up that actor and just to see if he's ever played an SS officer. There's just something about his face, especially when he has a hat. It's like this guy's played a Nazi before in a movie.
I don't know. He plays a good Russian though.
Yeah, he does too. He's got that cold, fucking pale face that looks and eyes that say that I've seen shit. But yeah, there's a lot of I mean, casting. Let me just go into casting in this. I don't think there's a single weak character in this whole thing. I think everyone, even like small characters that were kind of benign too now and then, they all served their purpose. Everyone had a role, and it all flowed so well. I mean, like there's no one that flubbed anything in this.
Oh, definitely. This is flawless, dude. Every performance, every voice fit the character. I know that if we they would be Russian and they would not sound like this, but
See,
the
let
voice
me
fits the characters.
yeah, and let me actually see the something that this did a lot better than Lords of Chaos did. This consistently is like, okay, we have British actors. We're not going to put on Russian accents. we're gonna keep it consistently just everyone's accent. That actually made it was consistent enough that it was like kind of distracting at the very beginning, but then I instantly forgot about it and was into it, and like because nothing changed. Floors of Chaos starts with just using the accents, but also just like English graffiti everywhere, and like I was forgetting that it was that we're even in Norway. And then they started having some people have accents, and then I was like, why do okay? So now I'm being distracted by it because some people are putting on accents and some people aren't. So it's like, and they're all supposed to be in the same place from the same place. And that was frustrating with having it. But this doesn't set up those standards. It immediately just says this is this is a British. This is a British show, and then you just get lost to it, and you forget that they're British, and you definitely don't forget that we're in Russia in this at all.
No, no, I to be honest, I think when they do put on there are some Russian accents in this. And they're all done perfectly well.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to tell if Boris is putting one because he already does have an accent because he's Swedish.
Yeah, his accent was kind of hard to distinguish, but I think he's
He
from
made
a
it
region
like
that
blah,
was.
blah, blah.
I think
Like a voice like this.
he's probably from a region that's close enough that it was hard to distinguish. You know.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm trying to think. Gotcha. But I mean, I can't really think of any. Maybe there's just like a couple I missed, but I'm pretty sure most of them were just. I just remember everyone being pretty much British, and because I feel like if I heard someone like putting on a really bad Russian accent, like that would have like instantly been like, oh shit, there's a Russian accent all of a sudden. Oh, the Armenian guy, but he was Armenian, so like the. So at least he was like he wasn't Russian. Like all the Russians were all British.
I don't know.
So
I heard like most of the nuclear physicians in the actual room sounded Russian to me.
in the actual reactor room,
Yeah,
like they were all British. I
they
didn't hear them
I was
once
hearing
put a
I
Russian.
was hearing Russian out of them.
The ones that pressed the button and caused the explosion. Is that who we're talking about?
Yeah,
I They were all British. They all had like let's do this together.
I'm just saying what I was the accents that I was hearing
Hmm.
was Russian, and it was good. I wasn't like thrown off or anything.
I'm. I mean,
But to be
it's not
honest,
a
I'm
matter
not
of
the
opinion
best.
here, though.
I'm not the best when it comes to accents or anything.
Okay. Um, I'm I'm 99% sure there was not one put on Russian accent, especially in the reactor room. It was all British. It was all various UK
And
accents.
I guess we do have to probably put into account that my brain, I'm told that I'm supposed to this is a Russian event. I'm supposed to be hearing Russian accents, so that's what I'm primarily going to hear.
Yeah, but we can say that's in a way that I was saying, like the fact that we don't forget that we're in Russia. It's set up. I'm in Russia, even though I'm hearing consistently British accents. It actually doesn't distract me at all, and I've been put into this thing that everyone is British, and they actually keep it consistent. And I'm pretty sure the only person who hasn't like an accent, like a full on accent that isn't, uh, I think Boris, which I'm pretty sure he doesn't put on a Russian like a Russian one either. I'd have to like kind of I'd have to listen to that a little bit more carefully, but I'm pretty sure the only person who has it is a foreigner to everyone is the Armenian dude
Yeah, I
in the cleanup.
like I said, I was hearing Russian. It wasn't like thick Russian, but I was hearing like I this sounded like a bunch. This sounded like a group of people that like could speak Russian, but also English to me. You know?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I definitely don't. I definitely don't get that
Gotcha,
from
gotcha.
what I've watched. But yeah,
But that's just from that.
uh,
That doesn't. That's just our. That's just our different brains.
yeah, and I'd say like I feel like maybe you definitely heard that because of how well that they just integrate you into the world, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. That it's so well done. Let's get
Because
into
then
episode three. Episode three is
three,
my favorite
yes.
fucking episode because they introduce my favorite characters through the whole series. And unfortunately, we only get one episode, and it's probably a good
Hmm.
thing we only got one episode with them. But I wanted more screen time with the
Yeah.
miners.
Yeah, it was like we want more screen time, but they did have the perfect amount of screen time. They played their role.
Yes, for sure. The miners, in my opinion, were the champ. Like there are a bunch of heroes in this story. There are
Hmm.
the three divers that were before the miners. In episode that's how episode two ends. Basically, the three divers go in and they have to drain the water from the tubs, or there will be a nuclear meltdown. And of course, episode three opens up, and we find out they're able to manage to do it. And now that that's done, they have to deal with the molten lava that they have created, which was the only way to put the fire out. Which I don't probably think wasn't the only way, but it was probably the only like fastest solution they could think of.
Hmm. I thought a really good scene was when the three divers are volunteering. It just shows not only the bold faced lying of like how the government does, but how cheap their government was too. Just with the offering the a bonus of 400 rupees, which I don't know how
That
much
was
is
no, that was a
equivalent.
yearly stipend, but
Oh, a yearly
so
stipend.
they got that
Oh,
every
much
year.
better. Yeah, but
And if
still
and of
cheap.
course we get to know that they actually lived long, fruitful lives, and two of them are still alive to this day, collecting 400 fucking rupees a year.
They better be.
Oh, they
They
fucking
better
better be.
goddamn. I
And of
wonder if there's
course,
been any interviews with those guys.
I don't know. I would have to look into it. But of course, after them, the to settle the lava from the nuclear lava from seeping into the soil, they have to get miners to reinforce the padding, and it takes like
Mhm.
400 of them. And I don't understand why they couldn't have fans. Like they were
Oh,
already
it was.
breathing the dust in, like as they were, digging.
Mhm.
As their shovels are hitting the ground, that first initial impact's getting blowing dust in their face and everything. And they
I
didn't have respirators
think
on or anything. So
think they were more. I kind of get it because then maybe there would be a more of an airflow and it'd start kind of the dust would be kind of shooting a little bit out of the hole a little bit too. You'd start getting kind of like mini clouds. Oh, what? Oh no! Oh, is my Wi-Fi off? Shit. Um, I don't know what else. Oh, take Messenger. Go fuck away. Am I better? Okay,
but yeah,
but
the
I get they wanted to minimize the amount that was in it because if you had fans, there would be more.
yeah, yeah, that I kind of understand that, but that's just a little nitpick that I had with the event that happened. But of
Mhm.
course, the miners they did not let that deter them. This is why I believe they are the champion heroes of this story. Them motherfuckers decided to go old school and strip down
Mhm.
to their bare fucking naked asses, and they fucking did the goddamn job in a month.
They did. They did
They
what miners did before fans.
they fucking worked behind around the fucking clock, and they got that shit done. They didn't,
Hmm.
and I know they were probably complaining about it, but they fucking did it, dude.
You
Like
can't
to
stop a miner from complaining, especially if they're working hard.
Yeah, especially miners that open up with a joke about what does a Soviet Russian machine do that cuts a fucking apple into four
In
pieces
three,
into three.
no, into three pieces. Yeah.
Like they're the whole joke is fucking just complaining.
That was one that was designed to cut four. Because they are at the bottom of the neglect of their government.
Yes, but they also knew their power, and they knew that
Mm.
it was their fucking coal and their fucking mine. And I love
See, and
how they're like,
that's
you
what
ain't got
the
enough
actual
bullets.
power the that's the actual working man power. That's what communism is supposed to be. Supposed to be run by those guys.
But unfortunately, it's not.
Nope.
And then, of course, uh, the miners succeed in their task, and we go to episode 4, which is all about the cleanup. Which,
Definitely a sadder one. It was
y-
definitely the more gloomy one. It's the cleanup and sort of the healing process of it, which is going to be
yes,
more
and
more death.
it's still going on. The recovery is still going on to this day. I think the last that they finally completed that containment field back in 2017.
Yeah, I remember watching that, like when that was going on.
So yeah, that it's
And
it's a long process, and of course, I'm
then
kind
it
of
has to be
cold-hearted.
another.
They
Mm,
they I don't think they should have let anybody leave the area. I think they should have quarantined everybody and properly treated everybody, right? But
mm,
instead they evacuated everybody and did what they had to do with the remaining living animals around.
mm,
Because of course them animals will eventually migrate out of that area, and they will spread infected DNA to the wilderness, and it could fuck up
mm.
the ecosystem greatly.
Yeah, I mean, there's I mean, they definitely didn't get all of them because I mean, that city is still rife with just like packs of wild dogs now.
I'm going to assume I understand they showed that one scene with the dude. We heard bullets, but I'm going to assume sometimes they let the puppies live.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Because
We don't really know.
I understand that dude. They kind of established that dude has killed individuals, but he it was very weird. Like he was a very healthy individual, if that makes sense. Like
Hmm.
he did it for a job, and it wasn't something
Hmm.
he enjoyed doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I think he definitely. I don't think he hesitated on it. Definitely because he kind of said too, like he did kind of paint the picture for him that like yeah, they ate the chickens and then they're gonna start eating each other. Like it's not they're not gonna be living well, if you leave them alive.
Yeah, it's definitely a
That's not even what
mercy.
that's without the knowledge of like the radiation too of what that's gonna do.
Oh yeah, the radiation was just gonna. Some of them was if they got too close to the actual plane itself. Some of those animals were literally ripped down to the cellular structure.
Hmm. And yeah, there's still a lot of them. I mean, there's a lot of the feral dogs. They check them too for like radiation. There's still a lot of them have significantly lower levels, but a lot of them are just yeah generations and generations passing radiation.
Yeah, and that would have been. Of course, it's probably contained now, but it would have been bad if we allowed that to get out in the ecosystem.
Yeah, interestingly, uh, river monsters was a thing. Jeremy Wade, he goes on like crazy fishing things, and he actually did something for the government and part of their research, and he did it for episode 2, where he fished in the cooling lake.
Oh.
Yeah, and got a catfish, and they actually looked into it, and they saw like its stomach contents were still radioactive.
Damn.
Yeah, it's it's still, and like a lot of I think they are seeing a start they're starting to see like a little bit of an uprise of birds again and insects, but like for a while, like most things, especially in a certain surrounding area, were pretty much infertile.
Man. So and after that episode, we get to the last episode, episode 5, which I
Mm-hmm.
believe they picked the right amount of of episodes. And I need to correct you. I don't think this is, I think because HBO did this.
Yeah, but it's all a bunch of British actors.
Yeah, I would have to look into it, but this is a HBO miniseries, so
Yeah, and but HBO will, like, it doesn't mean it's the same studio, or
yeah, yeah. I was just
Mhm.
making sure people weren't thinking it's like a BBC or something.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely not BBC. Yeah.
But they definitely picked the right amount of episodes. We get to episode 5, which I think they was brilliant with how they structured the episodes. The episodes, the first episode starts where the actual story of the whole event started, which of course
Mhm.
was when the dude made those confession tapes, hid them, and committed suicide. That is where we learned about the true events of Chernobyl. That is where all of this began. Is when that pinnacle act of him doing that 2 years exactly to like on the time to like so poetically 2 years after the actual event hung himself.
Yeah.
Like then it goes into the direct aftermath instead of the actual event because they're saving the event for when they're going to go over the trial and they don't want to repeat information. So they leave it a mystery for you, and then they show you how they solve this mystery, and they show you how the process of doing the solving and then the cleaning up and the healing, and then
And
they
the
go,
consequences.
yes, and the consequences, and then they go into the actual trial, and at the trial itself they reveal not only what the event itself, but they also reveal that they fucking knew this was gonna happen. Like they knew, like they
Mhm.
knew, like there was no. They literally made 16 nuclear bombs. There was no avoiding this because of the graphite tips they put in the control rods.
To save money.
Like it was,
All to save money.
yeah, because it was cheaper.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. The three people that were held responsible were put to 10 years hard labor, and that's it.
Hmm.
And that's the story. Of course, Lugosi, he just could not keep it a secret, so he did what he believed was and probably was the only thing that he could do. I
Hmm.
hate to say it, but even though he probably wasn't the best individual, I'm he he was definitely a hero in what he did as well.
Definitely, yeah, a redemption.
Yeah, he definitely redeemed himself. I like that they did. I completely forgot they did. They do give credit to the group of scientists that the one character is made, in honor of.
Yeah, they explain everything. That was good.
Yeah, I completely forgot they did that. And they also just give a little tidbit of more information. Like, there is a couple that they kind of follow, a firefighter and a woman. That was an actual couple
Yes.
that is actually alive and that actually,
Well, one of them.
yeah. And of course, the fucking it's reported that she didn't go to the railroad bridge. That is one thing that is good, but almost everybody that was at that railroad,
Everyone.
yeah,
It was everyone.
was
Not a, not
reported
a
dead.
not a recorded survivor.
Not one
Yeah,
recorded
that scene
survivor.
of them playing in the ash.
Yep.
Oh, that's yeah. It's like it is. I definitely think, especially if you really don't know, if you're really like like totally like unaware of like these events, it is definitely something to watch once and then watch again with hindsight.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because like even though I don't know the full details, I knew a decent amount to know of when like even if when they weren't exactly saying it, just like the scene, especially them on the bridge and stuff, like you know that that's not good.
Yeah, for sure. Just had the cinematic nature of it all.
Mm,
The somber it's a lullaby, but it's like the
mm,
most it's almost as death kerning as the Winter Lantern lullaby, you know? It's
yeah,
just like just a very horrible, like, oh shit, this looks good, but the music they picked is definitely like ah
like a creeping death.
the oh let's the soundtrack of this, even though there's not like any the this the all the music that they did use was phenomenal.
Hmm. That's what that first episode. That's what I was saying. Like those of just how that when you see the aftermath of like the smoke of after the explosion. I mean, the smoke itself looks it's almost presented as a monster.
Yes, yes, and to be honest, the smoke is a fucking monster. It's like the most deadly part. It's
Mhm.
not the most deadly part, but it's like one of the most significant
Mhm.
things.
I've always understood the comparison of like Godzilla being nuclear destruction, but like this paints it the best. Like this is a kaiju monster of death that
Yes,
is almost that's not nigh unstoppable. You know.
like I completely agree with that. I completely agree. But can we go on anymore?
um,
Because we
man.
can wrap it up if you can't.
I mean,
There's not
yeah. I
much to
mean,
say.
watch it. God,
Yeah,
just watch it.
just go watch it. It's
You don't even need to read up on it. You watch it once all the way through. It's going to give you what you need. Then watch it again.
yeah, and this is pretty much all the information that you can gather.
I mean, it's because it's like what the whole thing together, a little bit more over 5 hours. It's not. That's not a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
Like for a
it's
series.
5 6 hours. Yeah, it's roughly
Hmm.
5 to 6 hours. It's
Yeah,
definitely worth the binge watching. But I'm glad we paced it out. It was nice.
yeah, it was nice.
So thank you so much. If you've been listening to the song, please like or comment dislike on the video and share it around. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications and go check out some more of our content. We have Let's Plays. We are doing Pokemon right now, Shining Pearl, and we have podcasts coming out. We are going to be talking about the Lords of Chaos movie tomorrow, and we have more Loose Butthole reviews you can check out. Do you have a sign off that you want to give, Spooge?
For Chernobyl. Um. Uh. No.
All right. Then this will be a bye bye.
Niet. Bye.